Welcome to today's lesson on learning to read the bass clef. There is sheet music to accompany this tutorial, which is for free and on my website, and I'll leave a link for you. You can go down and print this out, and some of it's for you to write on. So hopefully it will help you in your endeavors of learning the bass clef. First, let's take a look at the clef symbol. Here is the bass clef, and its position on the staff is very important. The second to the top line is a very special letter for this clef, as we'll talk about in a moment, and notice that the large dot is right around that. And we bring it up and curve it around, kind of like a half of a heart, and don't quite go down to the bottom line. Stop right about there, and we put a dot in the top space and a dot in the space down below. And that is our bass clef, which basically just means lower notes. Usually our left hand plays bass clef because it can reach all the lower notes nice and easily. Let's start by taking a look at the staff itself. It's comprised of 5 lines and 4 spaces. We start by counting from the bottom up. So the bottom line is considered line 1. That's line 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as the spaces. But the spacers, there's only 4. We start on the space in between the first 2 lines. So that is space 1, space 2, space 3, and space 4. Now let's take a look at the overall map of the notes, where the highest note here is at middle C, and that note is 1 extra line above the staff. If we go down about an octave, we have the C below that, and a few more notes. We have the bottom of the bass clef, that letter G down in the bass. And the bass clef is just basically this area on the piano. There are notes in the bass clef down below this, but they're also down below the staff, and in order to get to them, we have to draw a bunch of little extra lines below our staff, which we'll learn at a later time. Right now, we're just going to be learning the notes that are on the staff themselves. Going to the next part right here, we have the 5 lines of the staff. Sometimes my students find it easy to use a saying to help them remember the order of the lines. So let's do one today. I've heard a bunch of different ones, but I have a set of ones that I think are my favorite because they go together and you won't forget them, I'm pretty sure. And the one for these lines here, GBDFA, would be good burritos don't fall apart. And those are your 5 lines of your bass clef staff. Now, middle C is the little extra line above the staff. If we go down to the next line, we skip over a note going down, which brings us to the letter A. Now we are thinking of our alphabet backwards because we're kind of going in a downwards direction. So we got C, B, A. Before A is a letter G because that's the last letter of our alphabet. Right? So if we were going to continue down the lines, the top line is the A, now we're to skip over a note to get to the next line. I have the F, and to the next line is the D, going down to the B, and then finally at the bottom, the G. And these 5 right notes represent the 5 lines of that bass clef staff. Let's move on to the spaces that are found between these lines, A, C, E, G. Let's see if we can get both of these staffs on here at once, because these sayings go together. So in between these notes, we have A, C, E, and G. And so the other saying here that goes with good burritos don't fall apart would be always carry extra guacamole. There you go. We have A, C, E, and G. Ace, G. Another way to remember the spaces, and it's a rhyming one, we have ace, G, face, right hand of the face letters. Ace, G, face are all our space notes. Alright, moving on to the notes that are not labeled. So here is an opportunity for you to figure out what notes they are. Label that note and try playing it on your piano. You can pause the video to do that now. I'm just going to go ahead and write the answers in and play them on the piano with you. Okay, first note B near the bottom of the staff. Going down a step. So we should think about directions because there is an A up here, but that's not the A that we're looking at. The A that we're looking at is a step lower to the left A. There is a G right here, but that's not the right G. This one seems to take a big leap upwards, so think of where the next G is here. That's that G. From this G, we're going to go downward to D, and then up one to E, and then down a fifth to A. The fingers you use don't matter at this point. We're not learning them as a song. You can use the same finger for each one if you like, whatever is easy for you right now. We're just trying to explore learning how to read the staff and interpret where it means to go. All right, on to the next line. This is our final line here. We'll first label our notes. Look at that, put the same one twice in a row. Okay, starting at E, going up to A, the same note A, a big drop down a G. There is a G right here, but the G right here will look very close on the staff. The G right here would look like that. But this one's a big leap down. Next G down over here. Going up to a B, and then up to an E. Remember to give me a thumbs up for this video, and you have free sheet music. You should go and download it and print it out, and also subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. I'm going to put out a lot more content for beginner material, learning the piano, and beginner theory for music, so you want to be sure to subscribe and know when that video comes out. Until next time.